Today we're going over a real estate market update for August. We're going to be looking at all of July's numbers and discussing what they mean for you if you're looking to buy or sell here in Jefferson County. Now, if you're new here, my name is Spencer Lowe. I'm with United Real Estate Louisville. I've been selling real estate since 2019. If you are new here, make sure you click that subscribe button as well as that bell notification so you don't miss the next market update, as well as click that like button. It really helps me out. Let's jump into the numbers. Now, the first number we always like to look at is our absorption rate. Now, what an absorption rate is basically how many months of inventory do we currently have sitting on the market. So if no more houses were listed, how long would it take our current buyer demand to actually eat up all the inventory? Now in July, we were sitting right at 2.28 months of inventory. Now all that means for you is if you are looking to buy, it is still a good time to do so. We actually have seen that number go up a little bit, meaning you've got more options on the market if you are looking to buy than what we had a couple months ago, last month as well as a couple months ago. It keeps climbing a little bit each month, which is good to see. It means that our inventory is going up, so buyers do have more options. And just keep in mind, we are still in a seller's market though. So 6 months of supply is considered as an even playing field amongst buyers and sellers. So sitting at 2.28 months of inventory in July means that we need about 3 times the amount of inventory before we get pushed into a buyer's market. So definitely still in a seller's market, but we're not as severe of a seller's market as what we used to be. So we are starting to come out of that a little bit. Buyers are having more options and they're getting a little bit more negotiating power when it comes to the negotiations. Now, the second number we always like to look at is our median days on market. Now, what median days on market is from the time a house is listed to the time they actually accept a contract. For most houses, how long does that take? Now in July, we were sitting right at 8 days. Now, the last number we're going to look at is our average sales price. Now in July, our average sales price for the month of July was sitting right at $348,000 and a little bit of change. Now July 2025 versus July 2024, we're sitting up just over 6.5% increased this year over last year. And then year-to-date numbers, so January 1st to July 31st, year to year, we're looking at just about 5% increase in our average sales price. Now, what do these numbers mean for you? Well, if you're looking to buy in today's market, it's definitely a softer market than what it used to be. So as our inventory climbs, you've got more options on the market. And the other thing is there's not as many buyers per house, which means there's probably going to be less multiple offer situations, as well as a little bit of more wiggle room in what the sellers might be willing to do for you. The other thing is we still want to make sure that we realize that we are still in a seller's market. So 6 months of inventory is considered as an even playing field amongst buyers and sellers. We're sitting at just above 2, so we need about 3 times that inventory before we actually get into an even playing field or into a buyer's market. So just keep that in mind that we are still in a seller's market. So sellers are going to want to see that you're pre-approved or have proof of funds before they actually accept your offer in most cases. The other thing is you want to make sure you sit down with an agent and discuss the entire buying process and sign up with that agent, because let's be honest, when you have a median days on market of 8 days, houses are still selling pretty quickly. So yes, it has softened a little bit from what it used to be, but we are still in a seller's market. So you need to make sure that you're ready with your pre-approval letter and you pick out an agent before you start the process, because it's going to make it a whole lot easier to sit down with an agent, discuss the process, and actually get into houses than if you don't have an agent and you're trying to go through Zillow or just clicking that little button or trying to wait for open houses, because that's not really going to get you there. So make sure you sit down with an agent early in the process, get your pre-approval letter, and be ready to roll. Now, if you're a seller in today's market, it's really important to realize a couple things. The first thing that I'm going to tell you is it's still a seller's market, but with that being said, we still need to make sure that we price our houses accurately. We can't go in pricing them $50,000, $100,000 over what they're actually worth, because no buyer is actually going to come in and look at them because they realize that it's overpriced. The other thing that we're going to want to make sure that we do is we want to make sure we go through and prep the house right. I've got a free pre-listing checklist that I've got down below, so make sure you go grab that. Then the other thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that we advertise the house correctly. Now, with median days on market being 8 days, that doesn't really give us time to get out postcards and printed ads out very quickly. So what I like to do is I like to focus on social media ads. I recently promoted this house over here. We had over 70,000 impressions in the course of 4 days, sold it in 4 days with multiple offers, and we sold it for over asking price. So if you want to sit down and discuss the entire selling process with me, I'd be happy to. I've got my phone number down below. I'd love to sit down with you and talk about it. So once again, my name is Spencer Lowe. I'm with United Real Estate Louisville. Make sure you click that subscribe button as well as that bell notification so you don't miss next month's market update, and I'll see you in the next one.